Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Lutys chainsaw mods. I've pretty much finished this. This is the one that's been sitting over here for ages. It got a twisted crank. It's the one I said on my last video, you know, I built a turbo crank and changed the cylinder and a piston and all the rest of it. Done a real good port job on it, and I've used a timing wheel on it as well. I've had it running, so it does run. The only thing I needed to do was change the air cleaner. So originally, I'll be a bit closer actually so you can see what I'm doing. Originally I had the air filter that I built it a few years ago actually. There you go. So originally I had this on it, okay? Now I put Husqvarna 372 carburetors on these. See that? I normally put a plate on there, an adapter plate with a screw hole in it, and then this just screwed over it, kind of like that. Okay, which it was, to be fair, they were okay, but they over time, I mean, they're splitting and they were sort of fracturing inside. They weren't lasting really. So on the last one I did, which is this one, I put this on. This has also got a 372 Husqvarna carburetor on. Now I've slackened the grub screws off, but just to show you. So that's an adapter that I make. This is the first one that I built for a ram stack. Okay, as you can see underneath, can you see the red plate underneath? That's a support plate that goes between the two casings, and the screws go in the side, one that side, one the other side, holds it all rigid, because I had issues with these carburetors coming loose at one time. So making that plate was brilliant, to be fair, to solve that problem. So I'm thinking about this one. What am I going to do for an air cleaner? Anyway, in the end, I thought, well, to be honest with you, that one over there, that pushes 8 horsepower with the ram stack on it and everything. I thought, well, I might as well just do that. It works. Once it's done, it's a simple sort of thing. You can clean it without taking the lid off and all the rest of it, like. So they're quite good, quite reliable. Anyway, I did have I got another ram stack the same size, which was I already had it in stock here. And I got my adapter plate, which this was the original adapter plate without this piece on it, that I used to make this air cleaner on. So I thought, right, I'm going to copy that. So what I do, so I mean, this piece here originally it's only a washer with a couple of holes drilled in it, and that goes on, and you use that as your mounting plate if you want to build one of these, like. And the tubes are made up. It's 2 sections. There's a section there, and there's another section here. That's so that you can get the angle on it. So if you look, it's got quite a good angle on it, which keeps it up away from because the ram stack sits like that and it hits on the handle, so it just keeps it off the handle. I do grind this lump down here a little bit. These are Chinese CS580 chainsaws. So if you want to do one of these, put a 372 carb on it, build yourself one of these. So it's I mean, these are sold as a 38mm ram stack, but they're actually 40mm. But they're sold on eBay as 38mm. So that fits on nicely. Now, 2 grub screws go either side, and then you've got your ram stack. I've made this one a little bit longer because this is the Mark II, if you like, second one I'm building. So I've made it a little bit longer because a longer ram stack does work better. It gives more velocity to the air as it goes through the carburettor. But in my mind, this section here, if you look, there's a nut welding on that side and a nut welding on that side on a metal plate. Yeah, and that I think is essential if you're going to do one of these, because these carburetors are quite weighty and they will eventually pull the bolts in your cylinder, because it happened to me anyway. So these go into the aluminium case this side and into the aluminium case that side. You can drill, so if you get, I'm trying to show you this while I'm watching you. If you go under here and drill through that side, and then drill through that side through the aluminium casing, and then get yourself a piece of, it doesn't need to be any thicker than that, to be honest with you. It's not a huge piece, but it just supports the whole thing, because this obviously adds weight as well, and without this I think they would fail really easily. And then that eventually, if I can get it in with one hand, but I can have a go, that eventually goes, well, pretty much it's almost in, but you get the idea. So that goes in there and it sits, obviously that's the one side, and the other side is just down here of the support. So that fits like that. It's not quite in properly. I'm struggling a little bit to get it in with one hand, but you know, that's roughly how it goes. Okay, and as you can see, it's got a it faces upwards, vertical. That's too low. Just a moment, I'll just see if I can get it in a little bit better. But they're pretty good, these. Carburetors run really well, 372 carburetors run really well on these. Really opens up the power on these things if you want to do one. And they almost go straight on, you know, you've got to do a little bit of modification. I did a video way back on fitting these, and that'll go on there, it'll push on right on eventually, and that's the ram stack. And that's what it looks like from the top. Okay, you see it's a bit longer than the other one. It sticks out the casing a little bit more, because I thought, well, you know, if I'm building a Mark II, I'll improve it a little bit. This one's quite tight against the casing nut, see? But you know, these really work, these ram stacks do. And then I put mesh inside here, and then some fine cloth that I've got over the top. So it's it's a decent air filter, to be fair. You don't get any bits inside of it. So I thought I'd just share that with you. Fitting the ram stack and the support piece. The support piece, as I said, is really important, to be fair. You get that in and they'll just run and run and run, these things. Well, they'll be really reliable and really strong. They're a good strong saw if you tune these up. So there you go. I've almost got my 2 tuned up ported saws up and running. That one over there's fine, that one there's. I've just had that in here just because I'm copying bits and pieces to get this filter working, this ram stack working on it, that's all. So that was just a quick one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to ask, then go ahead and message me, and I'll do my best to answer them all. So thank you very much for watching Lutys Chainsaw Mods once again, and bye for now.